Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Iron Purpose Podcast. I'm your host, Bailey Belter, and today I'm joined by Alvin Goozie Hines. Alvin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, buddy. Doing good. Like we were just talking about. I'm still warm, not froze. I'm all right.
Yeah, because we both live in the central Minnesota area, and we woke up to, man, I don't know if you guys got rain yesterday too, but it rained, and everything was melting, and then everything started freezing, and we got snow and slush and all kinds of crap. So, are you guys hit with the same stuff, or what'd you guys get?
But all we got was heavy, heavy snow, and a lot of it.
Jeez. You got a snowblower
I
at
got,
least, or did you get a workout in with a shovel this
I
morning?
did. I got a good workout trying to get my car out. Well, I didn't try. I got my car out to go to
There
the
you
gym, and I drive a Kia Soul, so it was a lot of shoveling.
go. Gotta love it. Yeah, we were just saying too. Yeah, we maybe a little bit of snow around Christmas time, but otherwise it could. You were saying we should all just take a break and go down south for the winter or somewhere a little bit warmer because it gets old.
It does, and I feel sunlight helps a person's soul so much.
Mm,
That could just be me, hopefully wishing, but I know it helps mine.
it really does. No, it makes a difference when it's like this and it's cloudy out and cold out and the sun comes through. You're like, oh man, I didn't even realize how much this was affecting me. In a negative way. Just that seasonal depression. It's real when all of a sudden the sun hits your face. You're like, oh my goodness. Yeah, there is life
That-
outside of this freezer that I'm
That's
in.
right. That's right. But we'll make it work.
Man. Amen. Yeah, you gotta. You don't really have another choice. So, what you got going on right now, man? I know you've been busy with a lot of different things, but now you're kind of in a season of maybe a little bit of rest. What's life been like for you recently?
The rest just ended, actually. I got my nose surgery done.
Okay.
Yesterday was the day prior to that was the first day I could go back and lift hard and hit the bag hard, like breathe everything except get hit.
Yeah.
But how life-changing that nose surgery was. How much air I can get now is crazy. I cannot wait to see what my cardio is now that I get back into training. I'll fight early July, a week and a half. I should be medically cleared, get back on the roster and get matched up with my next victim. So it's going
Oof.
good. Besides the fighting, I did my public speaking event in Grand Rapids there. My very first one went amazing.
Mm.
200 plus people showed up,
Wow.
you know, and they say it's the hardest to speak in your hometown. So might as well get that one out of the way first, man. And
Right.
because I want everyone else to know when I go places that I'm not lying. I'm teaching from raw experience. Like I've been there, and that's why I get so passionate about it. Because man, I have been there. And when
Mm.
I talk about it, and I'm trying to help people in those situations, it ain't something I read off the internet. It ain't something someone told me. It's man, I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going great, man. All this stuff is going good. It's going good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And what an experience to come back to your hometown and do that. And I especially love your story for like that reason too, because I grew up in central Minnesota, small town Brainerd Lakes area, and when I heard that you're from Grand Rapids and you're a UFC fighter, it's like wait, like Grand Rapids, Michigan, like you hear like a bigger places, yeah, let's go, baby. It's like no, Grand Rapids, Minnesota. You're like, oh, I've been there. It's a small town, and so it like inspires. I think younger people who are from small towns to go, hey, I'm from a small town. Well, who's to say that I can't go accomplish great things and big things? And
Ex
so it's amazing, dude.
exactly. So do you remember when you were younger in school, and a teacher had you write down, what do you want to be when you get older?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, I had some friends that were athletes, man, like way better than me. And I remember them writing down professional athlete. I'm pretty sure it was football. I want to be an NFL player. And in my eyes, it was a no doubt, no brainer that that's what they should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly recall the teacher saying, hey, do you know what the odds of that are? You're from a small town. You should write down something more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
That is wrong. And nothing, Hey, nothing against the teacher, except she should never say that to anyone. She was just taught wrong. That's what it is. It's a more of a, I honestly think it's a small town vicious cycle that is wrong.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
I I should start asking some of my friends because I remember I was, yeah, from a small town. I remember everyone that was in the classroom. I just can't remember exactly what kid it was though.
Mm-hmm. And that is so true. And you think of, I have a son who turns 1 in about a week, so it's trying to think too of things. How can I instill this passion and this purpose in him and this belief in him? Like if he wants to be a UFC fighter when he grows up, and I say, no, man, make it more realistic. You're probably gonna, do this or that, or like, pick something in the area. Maybe, he's gonna be like, oh, well, I guess I can't do that. Well, why should I dream big about anything else, or why should I think that I can make through this breakup or this adversity in my life if my own dad doesn't think that I could go accomplish this? So like, even if it is a really lofty goal, like why not fuel it wholeheartedly? And if if they're shooting for the moon, and the quote, aim for the moon and you might fall amongst the stars, like at least you're still shooting high and like having a lot of faith in
Les
yourself. You know what I
Brown.
mean?
That is Les
Yeah.
Brown. I love that saying. My
Mm.
man, aim for the moon, and even if you miss, you will land amongst the stars.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
I love that you know that. That is so cool, and you're absolutely right. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. When I first heard that saying, I was like, man, I wish I would have came up with that one. That is great. That's what I'm talking about, though. So, what drove you to start this podcast?
Wow, I appreciate that question, man.
Yeah.
And I recently got the opportunity to do an episode where one of my friends interviewed me and I told my story and some things. But the biggest thing for me was it was going through adversity and coming out the other side of it, going, maybe I was able to get through it by like holistic growth. So long story short, I was a police officer for about 3 years and kind of in and out, and it was what I wanted to do my whole life. My dad was one for about 20 some years, my grandpa for about 20 years. So it was like I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, and it just kind of wasn't working out the way that I thought it would. I ended up getting into a crash while I was on training, and thankfully everybody was okay. But it just kind of that just kind of summed up how it was going for me, and my mental health was kind of in a bad, rough spot, and so I kind of come to the conclusion that I need growth. That I need to figure this out, and so. Long story short, again, the holistic growth of mind, body, spirit. I met with my pastor to kind of work on my faith, kind of sat down with him and started to kind of regularly meet with him, and then got a personal trainer, got in the gym, and actually saw a therapist to get some mental health kind of help. And so when I was getting this help from other people, and being in law enforcement, now working as a correctional officer for 3 years, like I really had a lot of passion for helping people and wanting to help people, or at least trying to. And so when I was like, well, I'm getting a lot of help from a community and I want to be a part of a community to help other people, it started out as a gym accountability group, Iron Purpose. It was a Snapchat group with like myself and 10 other guys. And it was like, hey, did you hit the gym today? And they're like, yeah, whatever. And it was really cool. And I was like, I think that this could grow into something, as Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron. So one person sharpens another. And so building that community together, it was like, this is really fun, and the just kind of one thing led to another, and I started doing a podcast and having conversations like this. It started out as wanting to try to reach as many people as I could, but at the end of the day, like if nobody listens, like I know that I'm growing and learning from this, so selfishly, I really enjoy having these conversations, getting to talk to people like yourself or even friends just about random stuff. It's like a therapy session in and of itself for me, and getting my thoughts out there, and so if other people are able to learn and relate to the adversities that we go through, the stories that we have, I mean, that's what it's all about. We have a community, we can grow with each other because we this thing that we call life can be pretty difficult sometimes. So when you have a community of people to help you through it, I think it only helps you set yourself up for success and other people as well. So that's how kind of Iron Purpose was born, and man, we're stoked about it. We're this will be 54, so we're climbing, man. We're just rolling with it.
Let's go. Well, it is an honor, man. Thank you very much. And I truly believe you tell your son that exact story right there, and he would be like, man, so do what I love and do it the best I can
Mm-hmm.
and help other people along the way.
Yes, sir. That's what it's all about.
You're, man, it's gonna work out when you're doing stuff for the right reason
Hmm.
and you got your faith behind you. Unstoppable. Unstoppable, baby.
Let's
Let's
go.
go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
Amen.
What other questions you got for me? I loved that answer.
Yeah, let's go. So I think at this point, man, I would love to hear more about your story. You've kind of hinted about it. My uncle Troy. I guess I could touch on that. I worked in corrections for 3 years. My uncle Troy, he's worked probably about a little bit longer than I have, and he's recently become a programmer at their jail. And like you talked about, making a lot more programs and stuff, try to rehabilitate people while they're incarcerated, rather than just letting them sit there, throw away the key, and let them try to figure it out. I've had the pleasure of doing similar things at the jail that I work for, getting in programs and being a part of our impact program, which is inmates making positive advancement, choosing transformation. And so to be able to be in there and facilitate conversations with those guys has also been something that's been fun to translate, transition my skills and people skills like this to talk with guys like that and also learn from them as well. Has been super inspiring. And so my uncle and I, we kind of talk back and forth, and we started tonight. We're starting our first meeting of we're going to try to meet every month and just kind of keep up with each other and see how things are going and try to build our relationship even stronger. So I'm looking forward to that because then I could tell him about our conversation. But he is the one who kind of ran into you, and I'm sure you'll maybe touch on that, how you met him a little bit. But he's like, you gotta get this guy on the podcast. He's got an awesome story and he's willing to do it. So I ended up reaching out to you, and here we are. So again, I appreciate you making the time to come on here, man. And now I'll just kind of open the microphone to you, let you share your story as much as you want to share, and then, like I said, we'll kind of ask questions along the way. But take it away, my friend.
So I'm actually working. It's called a 15-minute power spot speech. And it's kind of about like why I started. Not, it ain't kind of, it is why I started doing public speaking, why I started to learn how to share my message. When I made it to the UFC, I had severe imposter syndrome.
Hmm.
I knew that I wanted to share my message, but it was specifically to share people. It wasn't to brag. It wasn't to, oh, look what I did. And I would talk about it, right? But then sometimes I'd get that thought, well, I'm not ready to help people. I ain't qualified. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's the imposter syndrome from my past. Well, there was a man named Troy and a pastor named Lance that thought it would be a great idea to let me come into a county jail that I had sat in before
Hmm.
more than once and share my word, share my message. And man, when I got in there and looked at the guys in there, I remember what it was like sitting there. Whether you're facing a weekend or whether you're facing 15 years to life, I know what it's like, man. And I had so much that I wanted to tell those guys. I
Mm-hmm.
said, I ain't in here. I didn't come in here to brag. I didn't come in here to sit up here and talk down to you guys or like that I'm a saint now. I still make mistakes all the time. I'm coming in here to let you guys know that this ain't the last stop.
Hmm.
That I have sat right where you're sitting. I could have possibly wore the same damn clothes because I know that ass could be cheaping out on some stuff. Let's get real here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I realized that I didn't know how to tell my story, but I said something just right. I said just enough through all the fumbling and getting locked up. And man, I was praying, God, please help me just get through. And I said something just right to where in a full-grown man's eyes, a hardened criminal, some people call him. I seen the switch. I seen the look. I seen the whole light go up, where he believed in himself again. Where he's like, hey, man, if that guy can do it, I got to change something when I get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant a lot to me. Then I knew, and the same thing happened at the school that same week. And it was in a special education class. And I was in those classes.
Mm.
And again, I didn't know how to tell my story. I didn't know what to say, but I knew how they were feeling. And I remember that, just like I said in the jail, I remember times where I didn't know who to ask, how to ask, or what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I said something just right to where I seen the same look in a young man's eyes at the school. And he stayed until they like had to drag him out of there and talking to me, right? And when he left, Pastor Lance, he's also a teacher at the school. He goes, that kid has not said a word in 2 months.
Wow.
And I knew that I needed to get to work. There's no hiding behind credentials no more, no hiding behind my success, because that's what I was doing. And success can become a mask just as fast, just as easy as insecurity can.
Mm.
I needed to get my shit together and learn how to talk. Because sometimes you only get a short window to talk to these certain people. And if I'm sitting there stumbling, choking on my damn words, that window, I could miss that opportunity. And that could be someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Charleston, South Carolina, November 27, 2025. And just not that long ago, man. But it was right after that event happened. Right after I really knew that, hey, my story can help people, and I am qualified to help people. But Dan, you better learn how to talk, boy, before you start doing it. So I was going to a public speaking seminar. I had one good friend that sent me the link because he had me write down the goals, right? He sends me this link, and I approach things with this attitude now. I do not overthink it. If it's aligned with my goals, I do it. I don't ask for other people's opinions. I do not look up Google reviews, nothing. So I was in Charleston, South Carolina, and I sat up towards the front, and I didn't really know what to expect, but I knew what I was looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if it was going to be like a classroom kind of teaching. I was really hoping it wasn't, because I wasn't made for school that much. And when his name is Paul Getter, and when he got up to the front and started talking, it was like he was talking right to me.
Hmm.
Like he tailored that speech to fit my life. A guy I had never even met. He was painting vivid pictures in my head with just his words. And that's when I realized I'm already learning, and I need to learn how to talk just like that. Just like that to get through to people, because that was in the first 20 minutes, and I was like, my man.
Wow.
And the athlete in me knew one way to get better at anything, and that is more reps, baby. Like, more reps, taking action. I didn't know, it was my first time here. I didn't know how to approach public speaking, but I knew that worked for anything. And a man named Jake Nix, all I heard was volunteer come out of his mouth, and then he finished the sentence. Can anyone in the audience come up here and explain what they do, why they do it, in about 90 seconds? And he's the hype man, and he's super good at it. And we go to the back, and he does the whole Bruce Buffer introduction, and I am pumped, man. Dude, me, Mr. UFC fighter, if I can fight in front of 20,000 people, all I gotta do is talk about myself for 90 seconds. I got this. In front of 50, easy. He hands me the mic, and when I turned around, man, it was like someone turned the thermostat up to 170, put a bunch of peanut butter in my mouth. I could hardly say my name, let alone what I was doing there or why I was doing it. And I stood there shaking like a puppy. No joke. And Paul comes up, and he's a smaller man, but his hand felt so big when he put it on my shoulder. And he goes, "It's all right, man. This happens to so many people." I'm thinking, yeah, right. Then he asked me, "Hey, do you want to give it another shot?" And I'm like, "Actually, I do." We go to the back. Yeah, we go to the back. He gives me some quick coaching. and I'm still shook, right? They do the introduction again. We get back up there. Man, I was still horrible, but I was better than the time before. Just like I knew was going to happen, man. The more
Mm.
and more I do it. So then I sat back down, and now they had my full, undivided attention because I have wasted enough time in my life due to my own choices. So when I do stuff now, I have to pick my circle very carefully.
Mm.
They had proven success and skill. Check. And then I got to meet a lot of them on the Speakpreneur team as we went through it, and I would watch them with other people, watch them interact, and listen to what they believed in. They had faith, not just religion, but in themselves, what they were
Mm-hmm.
teaching, and in their students. Check. I wasn't sold yet. As it went on, watching. Every one of them gets up in the morning and they do not do what they do for themselves. They do it to help people less fortunate, to help people live to their true potential, to help people. Check. Now I was sold because, man, especially in my eyes, to make that checklist is hard for a person nowadays, let alone
Mm.
a whole team of them. So that's when I made the decision. I joined the Speakpreneur team to help make me who I'm becoming along the way. And that decision just didn't change that weekend in Charleston. That decision changed the rest of my life. And it's going to change countless others because, man, I'm getting a lot better at talking, baby, and I'm going to help a lot of people.
Amen.
But that's what started this was when your uncle let us into that jail. And I seen those guys and they wanted to hear something that would give them hope.
Mm.
And man, do I got some stuff to tell them now. But like I said something just right to where I got through it. I know for sure one person, and that meant
Mm-hmm.
a lot to me. That meant a lot to
Absolutely.
me. And that's why I would hate to be the next guy I'm fighting because I'm not just I'm not just fighting for me, man. The UFC gave me this platform to where it gives me the opportunity to reach so many people. And not only that, the credibility on top of it. And I can't thank them enough for that.
Mm.
And it was my dream, the dream that helped pull me out of being lost, the dream God guided me to. And I ain't giving up on my dream yet either, boys.
Yeah,
So,
let's go.
but I'm going to keep saving people along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
My man.
And let's go. So you talk about, when you came out of a time when you were lost. What did that time look like for you when you were lost, and maybe what kind of decisions led to that? I know it might get a little personal, and if you're not willing to share, that's totally fine. But
Hey, I'll put all my cards on the table.
hey, let's go.
It started after high school. I was working in the iron ore mines in northern Minnesota. Well, once I got out of high school, there was no sports that I played. Thought I was in a serious relationship, got out of that right after high school. So I was working that. I filled that extra void with partying. If I wasn't working or at the gym, I was drinking.
Mm.
Then I developed a severe eating disorder. Well, at this time too, I just had a lot. Man, I had some stuff going on, baby.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff together. Soon they started clashing with each other, especially the working and the drinking. That led me getting introduced to crystal meth, which is a drug that I watched tear my family apart already. But I thought I was different. I didn't smoke. I didn't barely drink in high school. I didn't chew. Well, I'm not like them. I won't get addicted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, right, Goozy. Not only did I get addicted, I was addicted for 6 years, and I lost everything. Houses, trucks. I lost a girlfriend of 7 years. I ruined friendships, family relations. I hit rock bottom, man. Over and over and over. Which led to multiple arrests, multiple charges, me doing things that I can never take back. Me doing things to where I thought, me doing things to where I cared if, society judged me forever, which they probably still will, but that's all right. But it led me to facing 15 years in life in a West Virginia prison for armed robbery.
Wow.
That was an eye opener because, man, 15 you can see the end of. Life, now that hit different. I wasn't that bad of a guy, bro. I mean, I did some things, but I wasn't that bad of a guy. And that's when I realized, boy, you better get your shit together. You better make a difference because I remember when he shoved me in that cell and when the door shut behind me, everybody looked. Rapists, drug dealers, murderers, they all looked. And thank God I'm a big dude because I sat there and I just started crying. Just started bawling, bro. Because that's when I found out I was facing 15 years to life and it did not look good. And I walked over to that bunk and sat down crying out loud, praying out loud while crying. Probably an ugly cry too, I bet. Just bawling, right? God,
Mm-hmm.
please help me through today. God, please help me through today because I don't know if I can do it alone. And when I got up and looked in that, do you know what mirrors I'm talking about? Those little jail mirrors, bro.
Yep.
I got up and looked in that mirror.
Wow.
And that's when I realized, hey man, you're not the victim here. And I had never realized that in decades of living. I lived by blaming my problems on other people. Me, never, could never be my fault. Well, that all changed when I looked in that little mirror. And when I stopped using my past as fuel for excuses, and now I use it as armor. When stuff happens, I think about the stuff I've been through in my past. I'm like, this is nothing, man.
Wow.
And then I started using my faith as a weapon, I say, because that is all I had left. My life began to change. Because when you live like that, so many doors will open for you.
Mm.
Even a West Virginia jail door, bro.
Wow.
You know it.
Mm.
And the judge, she had no reason to. She was a stern woman, and I get it because she was at the towards the end of her judicial career. I think that's how you would say it.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked her at one of the court hearings, "Can I go be a Marine?" Because I didn't have any felonies yet. Can I go be a Marine so I don't have to sit in jail and people pay taxes on my dumb ass making mistakes? And I'll never forget my attorney saying something to me, and I said, "You've done nothing. Please be quiet." And she flipped through them books so fast. And then she goes, "Recess. We just got in there." I was like, "Okay." We go out, come back in. And she goes, "Mr. Hines, in 20 something years, of my career. No one has ever asked me that. And I'm thinking, man, I'm going to be a Marine. This is before I even shaved my head yet. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be a Marine, bro. Unfortunately, Mr. Hines, we cannot do that. And I had big plans for you, she said. Unfortunately, we cannot do that. And I was crushed again. We come back to the very last court hearing. I'm ready. Like, I was working in Arizona. I flew to West Virginia. My attorney already said, hey, just get your stuff together. And by together, I mean get it ready to not see it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even tell anyone that I was leaving. Not
Wow.
my family, nobody. I just got on a plane, left the Buick at the airport in Arizona. I said, well, someone can just have the Buick, man. And I got to the courtroom. Oh, and I'm sitting there, and the state goes, we want to either give him 10 years and 5 unconsecutive, so 15,
Mm-hmm.
or life. And from my court experiences, usually when the state recommends something, especially when I'm guilty, that's what they get. I am pouring sweat, probably tears, I can't quite remember.
Mm-hmm.
And her name was Deborah Skidere, the judge, and she goes, no. And I'm thinking, oh, she's gonna give me 2 life sentences. like I like I said, man, she was a very stern woman. She was probably sick of dealing with punks like me.
Mm-hmm.
And instead she goes, Mr. Hines, I'm gonna give you a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
Do not waste it. I think you will do something with your life. And I'm looking around like, and she goes, I'm not done. And I'm like, oh. She goes, you are never, ever, ever allowed in West Virginia again. If you book a plane ticket and it flies over West Virginia, I suggest you book a different one because if it crashes, I will lock you up. Understood. Understood. And she goes, I am not done. And I said, gotcha. She continues, you are now Minnesota's problem. 5 years probation, 200 hours community service. I was facing 15 to life. I went to go around the table and the bailiff stepped in front of me. I was like, do I hug her? Or I was like, thank you so much. She goes, you
Wow.
have 24 hours to be out of my state. I said, I can run faster than that. And yes, that was her and God, man, had my life in their hands right there. I ended up getting a hold of her just a couple months ago. Not even a
Oh
couple
wow.
months ago. Yes, I made a video, put it on TikTok, and I said, well, first I was taking some pictures, and the photographer's name's Jonathan. He said, man, I told him a little bit of my story, right? We're in LA. And he goes, have you got a hold of her? Honestly, I don't know if I'm supposed to. He goes, you should. So I took his advice and I made the video. And I said, hey, this is her name. She's a retired judge. And I just wanted to let her know that I ain't wasting that second chance.
Mm.
I'm a current UFC heavyweight. I do motivational speaking to help people that were on the same track that I was. And I just want to let you know, thank you. The next day I get a message from an account, no picture, no numbers, or the name was just numbers. And it said, this is one of the meanest comeback stories I've ever heard. And I was
Mm.
like, thanks, man. Who's this? This is your attorney from West Virginia. What I was meeting.
Wow.
I said, my man. He's all, I will get a hold of her for you. And she messaged me back on
Wow.
Facebook. And she said, wow, thank you. And I said, no, thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. And I'll never forget that. That led me to where we are today.
Wow. And just like we were talking about in the beginning about how teachers put a limit on younger kids by saying, hey, you're not capable of doing this, like how much of an impact her belief in you had in your life. She says, I'm gonna give you a chance. I believe you can do this. Don't make me regret it. And man, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. But like the
Bro.
belief, that belief, believing in somebody, saying you can do this, go get it, and you went and got it.
Yeah. And at the time, I didn't even I didn't look at it like that completely. I was just like, wow,
Yeah.
she is she crazy? I'm out of here.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Oh man, buddy.
uh, wow.
Uh, I will never forget. And my friend, his name is Jason Nicholson. He was, if you look up that event, it is three mugshots. One of them passed away, Jay Bowman. He was a good dude, just had problems. The other one thanks me. To this day, we're still good boys, and he thanks me. I pretty much kidnapped him, bro. I said, "Hey, stay in the car. Don't get out of the car. I'll be back." He wanted nothing to do with it. And I told the judge that because I didn't want them to get in trouble for stuff that I didn't do or that I did.
Mm-hmm.
But, he was there. Long story short, he thanks me. He changed his life. He runs one of the biggest treatment centers in West Virginia now. Got some new teeth, a haircut. That's a big thing in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
He loves when I say that. But they he got his wife back, his kids, absolutely killing it. His wife was in the same situation we were. She's sober. He's all, man, us getting in trouble that day changed our life. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it did, man. His boss flew him and his wife to Minnesota, paid the whole trip, right? To come watch me fight. And I said, why is he doing that? He goes, well, I told him the story. I was like, the whole story? He goes, yeah. I was like, man, what do you think? He said, that's a dangerous dude, and good thing he quit smoking drugs.
Mm-hmm.
But he is doing great. Like both of us are absolutely killing it. His wife, and there is hope, guys. There's so much hope, and it doesn't matter what has happened in the past. We will never see that again. So unless you're going to use it as a shield, which you will, none of that matters. We got a lot
Mm-hmm.
of stuff to do, a lot of talent just sitting out there thinking that they ain't worth it. And man, am I going to change a lot of that.
Amen.
Let's go, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What did that look like for you? So after you went back home, or you left that courtroom thinking that you were going to be locked up for a long time, returning back home, what was that switch like for you? What was the driving force of, okay, I am going to make a difference here, and I've spent a lot of time with some guys, in jail who are facing addictions and stuff, and like addiction isn't a joke. It's not something you can just drop on a dime. Like, is that what it looked like for you? You're just like, I'm done. I'm not looking back, and I'm going forward. And then you started making those steps, or what did the transition period look like from when you left that courtroom to who you are now?
It absolutely was not just it was, I still made mistakes. Not only did I still make mistakes, I honestly at first felt like I was going to be way behind, which I was. I had been running my life into the ground for the last 6 years. Of course, I'm going to be behind.
Mm.
But even when I caught up, which I did it very fast, I had the help of my family, man, my faith, the union. I got a good job. I got my own place. I just worked and worked and worked because I was so
Mm-hmm.
worried about being behind, which I shouldn't have been. I should have. It's not about what other people think, man.
Mm.
It's about yourself. But I didn't realize that at the time, and all I thought was, oh, all my friends that didn't have a drug problem, look where they at right now, and I have wasted so much time over mistakes that I made. It was embarrassing at sometimes. I didn't know how to even get back into reality. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I would work and work and work and do all these things. And I'm like, as soon as I get caught up, this feeling will go away. I'll feel better. Well, I did. I ended up getting in another relationship. I had a job. I got my own place. I got another car. I even bought a rental property, but I was still, now what?
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of addicts, especially, still get this feeling like, okay, stuff's going good. People are telling me, attaboy, not helping. I still feel lost. I still feel like something is missing. And I struggled with that for a while. I ended up at a family picnic over here by Duluth, and I was wrestling with these little kids, right? And this guy goes, "You should try jujitsu." And I was like, that sounds dumb. I didn't know what that word was. And he told me all the information, where the gym was, and I'm thinking, I just like talking to people. I don't care if they're wasting their breath or not. That's what I felt then. And he,
Mm-hmm.
talking, I'm like, yeah, cool, bro, hell yeah. When I walked away, I was like, dumb, never doing that. I was on a, I was on a jog and running, and right when I got tired, I was like, oh. When I took my headphones off, looked up, looked around, there was that gym that he was talking about.
Wow.
I stopped, right? That is God. I don't care what
Mm.
anyone says. That's what it is. And I'm like, huh. Well, took my headphones off, go walking up there, and it's a building with no windows at a dog park. And it was open. Went in there and they were doing jiu-jitsu. And I watched them for a minute. And they're like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "I don't know yet." And I'm sitting there watching some more. And I'm like, "Well, that's like wrestling. I can do that." I'm like, "Can I practice right now?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." Fell in love.
Mm.
Loved it. It was because I wasn't very good at wrestling. But when you can throw, let me crush your head in there and break your arm. Now I'm pretty good at wrestling. Like really
Mm-hmm.
good for super good, I was being told. I was like, thanks, man. I knew like two submissions. One was a face crank. The other one's like a wrist lock. They're not even, real. But
Right.
uh, I, man, fell in love with it. That very same week, I went to like two practices, and the whole gym was like, "Oh, talking about this tournament." I'm like, "Can I come?" They're like, "Oh, you want to come watch?" I'm like, "Absolutely not. I'm not driving that far to watch." I was like, "I want to compete." And the coach was like, "Sure." So I signed up as a black belt, which he goes, "You're signing up as a black belt?" I was like, "If I'm gonna drive that far and pay that much money, I want to face the best there to know if the worst thing I can do is lose. I don't want to leave half-assing it and be like, oh, I wonder if I was the best."
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I won.
Wow.
I was pretty much just wrestling them and scoring points. I didn't submit them or anything, but it is what it is. I won, which also I think was God, because then I was like, oh boy. I started going everywhere and competing in jiu-jitsu. All over. I even went to Vegas.
Wow.
Then a coach came in. He goes, "You should start punching people." And I did one fight in Grand Rapids when I was way younger. I barely knew what MMA was. My buddy Wes Ronke got me into it, and I thank him all the time for that, because I did remember, like, man, I really liked that feeling. Then, well, lo and behold, I still really loved that feeling. And when I did my first fight, the other feeling of what now? What is missing? That feeling was gone, but I didn't really realize it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But after I would fight and when I was at training and stuff, that feeling was gone. And it took me a long time, man, to like probably my third or fourth fight. My first pro fight is when it switched to where, hey, I'm gonna go all in on my dreams.
Mm.
There's a story I was actually working in Duluth building the new hospital. I was
Oh,
running an industrial elevator. I worked for the 49ers growing, like, that was my first career, first job, operators union. I can never thank them enough. That right up there is the first check I ever got from a sponsor, and it's from them.
wow.
So that's what I was doing. We're running this elevator, and this guy come in, and he says, "Man, you look all beat up." And I was. I had just had an MMA fight, 2 days prior, but I won. But I was all black-eyed, busted lip, and I was sitting in there in that elevator, man, just replaying the whole thing. I loved it. I was That was the feeling, man. And I would replay every one until the next one. But when he came in and said, "Man, you look like shit," smelling, came shuffling in there, little beer belly, one of them beards you can't tell where it ends or where his hair starts, smelling like stale cigarette smoke, and I ain't even really looking at him, and he's telling me how he used to fight. I'm like, yeah, yeah, and he goes, "I was so good, never lost, man. I fought everywhere, but I had to keep the lights on. Fighting don't really pay the bills. The whole routine, the whole excuses.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I could have been something."
Mm.
Then he says, "I never looked near as bad as you. You better not quit your day job."
Oh, man.
When I looked at him, I was like, "My man." I wasn't mad. Didn't see a bad guy. I seen a warning. And right then and there, that's the moment I know for sure it switched. When I said, "My dreams will not rot in excuses like that.
Mm.
I will never be that man. I will chase every dream now until it is real, no matter the odds, no matter what anybody says, because man, did people have a lot to say, especially about the things that I had done."
Mm-hmm.
I let fear stop driving, opinions stopped mattering, and I just went all in. And it was hard at times,
Oh, for sure.
very hard. If I wouldn't have liked the boss as much as I did at that job, I would have hit the E stop and just climbed on a ladder and left, or went out there, gone. But I really liked him. And, you know, the operators union they backed me 100%. Later on in that job is when I got that check. And that was another huge turning point. I was like, people, there is some people that believe in me, man. And
Mm-hmm.
man, those moments, I'll never, ever, ever forget those moments. Because coming up, even some people in my own family are like, "Why are you doing this?"
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't explain to them how it made me feel, because they didn't know the feeling that I had before. When I knew there was more in me. I knew that I had more stuff to do. This is not what I was meant to do. And if you're happy in life and you don't ever want anything else, you made it, man. Like, the stuff I say don't work. It ain't for everybody. I'm talking about the
Mm-hmm.
people that are missing something, that know they're meant for more, and they just don't know how to approach it. Because that was me, and I know for a fact that it was my praying and God guided me. Because, like, I didn't know to go to these seminars and look for these people or who to ask. It was little things. My cousin Aaron helping me buy that rental property. That was another time where I'm like, "Oh, maybe I can do stuff." It was little moments like that, but there wasn't very many. And it was just God guiding me on that path. And I know that that's for real. But that's the moment it changed, when I went all
Wow.
in from just being sober, just getting out. That wasn't enough for me. And now look, now I'm a professional athlete, and I'm going to help so many people become anything that they want to be and find their true potential, because I put the odds in in Chat GPT of me becoming a UFC fighter after suffering from drug addiction. Or I put no, yeah, dropping out of high school, suffering from drug addiction, then becoming a UFC fighter at my age. And it was like, they said much less than one person. It was one and
Jeez.
40 something, 2 billion, something like that. Yeah. So in today's world population, one or 0.35 or something like that of a person could possibly do it.
Mm-hmm.
That number is low,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't zero, baby. Let's go. Because here I am. What's
Yeah.
up? That's what I
Yeah.
mean. And if I can do it, let's help other people do it.
Absolutely. Wow. What a mental picture to see you exiting that jail or exiting that courtroom and then entering the door of the octagon to thousands of people screaming and cheering you on. And what a feeling. And can you explain that? Can you describe that feeling, what that meant to you to make the walkout into that octagon and be living the moment, the dreams? All the people thought you weren't going to be there. You know, you just said Chat GPT said there's no way that you're going to be there, and you did it. Like, what does that feel like?
Oh man. It was honestly, it was so many mixed emotions. It didn't even really set in till the day before the fight. I was like, man, I made it.
Mm.
I made it. They're not going to cancel now. It'll cost them too much money. But again, it was, I entered it just like I entered every one of them. I'm not a super skilled, gifted athlete. I was not pushed into it when I was very young and sent to all these camps. I wasn't, what should I say, blessed. My parents couldn't afford to do stuff like that.
Mm.
I didn't do anything like it. So when people ask me, man, what's your forte? What's your skill? I tell them heart, man.
Mm.
It's hard. I'm not the best at any of them. I'm not super good at any of them, but I'm better than most at all of them. Not only that, I'm not going in there and fighting just for myself or for fame. I'm going in there to pursue my dream that no one believed in me. I'm going in there for myself in that way. I shouldn't have said no one. Let me rephrase that. I'm going in there for the few people that did believe in me along the way
Mm-hmm.
and myself that
Mm.
didn't believe in me to show him also, hey man, look at what you're doing. And then I was fighting for all the people that are like me, that don't know how to believe in themselves yet, that are having a hard time, that are struggling, that people counted out. And when you put all those things together, I'm a force to be reckoned with
Mm.
because you're going to have to kill me to get me out of that octagon. I will fight you to the death, to the absolute death. One thing that I look back on that fight that I think about often is if I had enough energy to walk out of that octagon myself, that I could have put more into it. And I
Mm.
regret that.
Mm.
I do regret that. But I did fight my ass off.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing.
Man. But yes, it was I feel like everyone should get that feeling.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves that feeling of when it works out. You made it. You hit that dream. You got it. And everyone has the ability to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to show them. We just got to
Right.
show them. And if my meathead ass can do it, if I can figure it out, let's go. Let's
Yes, sir.
go.
Yes, sir. Oh, that's awesome. Wow, what a conversation. I've learned so much from this, and I'm excited to see, where your story goes. I know this is definitely not the end. It's just the very beginning of what you're going to accomplish. And I think that goes far beyond what the UFC can offer. Just that belief that you have in yourself now through the ups and the downs and the different things of your life, man, it's truly inspiring. So I got just a couple more questions here for you to kind of wrap it up. But again, I thank you so much for sharing your story and being willing to get vulnerable with us and showing what it takes to kind of get to the top of your dreams in life. It's man, I'm getting goosebumps. But I have a question. I can see your name right here. It says Alvin Goozie Hines. Where does Goozie come from? If you don't mind sharing that.
Absolutely. I get this one often. People think it's a fight name, and they're like, "That is a cool fight name." I'm like, "You don't have to lie to me, bro. That would not be a cool fight name." But anyways, I got it when I was a very young kid. There was a cartoon called Mr. Magoo, little bald, ugly dude. That's what I looked like as a kid, and it stuck. It stuck so hard that a lot of people call me Goozy. They don't even use Alvin.
Mm, wow. All right. I love that. Is that so? Is that your? So that's not your fight name that you've chosen. It's just it just stuck, and that's what it is.
I like it when they announce it like that.
Yeah.
Bruce Buffer didn't, but I'll have to have a talk with him about that.
It's like, listen here, sir.
I'm gonna need you to make some changes and make them better.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. And then let's see another one. Kind of keep it light again. Your walkout song. I haven't got a chance to listen to what your walkout song is, but can you explain to me what it is and why you chose that one?
I chose that one because Johnny Cash is the man, first off. And the song by Johnny Cash is When the Man Comes Around.
Hmm.
You have to listen to it, but it gives me goosebumps every time. And it made me, get that almost like the psyched up feeling. I don't know why exactly. From when I listen to it, I feel like he's talking about when God comes around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost positive that that's what it is about. And if it
Mm-hmm.
is not, nobody better tell me different because I don't want to hear it. That is
I
my
love it.
mindset on what he's talking about, and it makes sense to me. And I
Yeah.
need that. So, just so everyone that watches this, if I'm wrong, please keep it to yourself. Because that
Don't
song is very
correct it.
important. It is very
Mm.
important in my fight career. So I'm not ever changing it.
Mm-hmm.
And but that's why.
Wow.
If
I
you
love
haven't
that.
listened to it yet, you need to.
I will go do that right now, or when we're done here. Well, when you say the title, when the man comes around, it just kind of reminds me of your story too. Like you went through all that stuff, and you turned it around. You came around when that man kind of came out of as you're younger, making all these mistakes, and you're almost act as if you're a boy, like making foolish mistakes, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm gonna be a man now. Time to step up. So when the man comes around, this is what you're gonna get, Alvin Goozie Hines. I'm coming around. You better watch out. Like that.
Let's go, baby.
Amen. Couple more questions here for you. On on par with my podcast, one of the go to sayings is stay sharp. As iron sharpens iron, one person sharpens another. When you're in this career of you constantly are pouring into other people and wanting to help other people out, and a lot of times being in the UFC, obviously you're doing a lot of work on yourself, and it can be a lot of pouring out of your cup. What do you do maybe that you don't obviously you like go to the gym and stuff. That's an outlet for a lot of people. But what is something that you do to kind of fill your cup back up so that you're able to continue to pour out to others to stay sharp? What are you doing to stay sharp?
To stay sharp. Like you said, it's keeping on my routine, still working towards all my goals. Another one is not forgetting to celebrate my small wins along the way.
Oof.
Because I like to I like stuff to happen, and I know it doesn't always work out that way. A lot of times it's not gonna. I forget to do that. I forget to be like, hey, this worked out, this worked out. But the more I do when stuff gets a little hectic and I stop and I'll just count my blessings,
Mhm.
even even like three, four of them, write them down and don't just write them down and be like, oh yeah, those are the ones. Write them down and take, like 10 minutes and be like, those are good ones, man. Like there was a time when I was wishing really, really hard for those, praying for
Mm.
those, or even, oh man, this did work out and I overlooked it because I was looking at a bigger thing. That's
Yeah.
one thing that really helps me stay sharp. And the more and more I learn ways to be able to help people, that sharpens the hell out of me too. It
Oof.
makes everything else fall into place. It makes my training better, my everyday life better. It's working out really good. I'm gonna
Mm.
help a lot of people, win a lot of fights. My life has been great.
Mm. I'm a firm believer in that as well. One last question to kind of wrap this all up. If you could go back, and maybe there's somebody right now, and you've had the opportunity to go back to the jail and talk to some of these guys about different things about the situation that you were in. But say there's a young guy or gal out there right now in similar situation that you were in, or even looking back to younger Alvin. If there's something that you could say to him as he was looking in that mirror of the jail cell, what is one thing that you would tell him or that person that's currently in that situation?
You need to remember you're not in this alone. When you have your faith, it's it's a place you can always go back to, no matter what happens. When you fail, when stuff gets hard, you always got a place to go back to where you are truly never alone.
Mm.
And that is, man, that is something that a lot of people wish they had and don't even know that they have it, that it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of these guys, they think they were, especially in my situation, hey, if you get sober, or if you just start believing in God, everything's gonna be easy now. It's gonna be so simple. That ain't how it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not how it is. I wish it was, but it's not. It's gonna be hard. And by fail, I meant like just a failed attempt. I don't mean actual fail,
Right.
just a failed attempt, because there's gonna be so many of those also. I look at attempts as, man, now I just know one more way not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fall back on my faith. I'm like, hey man, help me out a little bit
Right.
here.
Like,
And it works. It works. There's
mm-hmm.
times in my life, sometimes right now, where I should be on paper, like panicking, struggling, but I'm not. And people wonder, like, man, how are you doing what you're doing? Like, and I'm like, because I know if I keep doing the right thing, I keep helping people, I keep pursuing my goals and making myself better, living to my true potential, and helping other people do the same thing. I don't have to worry about anything.
Mm.
And you don't get that kind of confidence from anything else except for faith.
Mm.
That's
Absolutely.
what, yeah.
I love how you touched on
And
that
don't
too.
forget it.
Yeah, amen. I love how you touched on the fact too that faith isn't going to take all your problems away. It's not going to make life easy. Like, oh, once you have faith, boom, it's the golden ticket and you're good. No more problems. It gives you that armor like you talked about. Like, it's faith isn't going to take away the problems. It's going to help you get through them, and endure those storms. Because you and I both know they're coming. It's not a matter of if, but when we're going to be faced with adversity or loss in our life, and it's
Correct.
it's up to us to decide what we do in those moments.
Yep. And know that you have a place to go back. You have a place to go back to, someone to talk to at all
Mm,
times. Not
yes, sir.
just, yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you asked that question.
Yeah. Love it. Well, man, this has been so much fun. I got a lot of notes here that I'm excited to just learn and live out, and it's always cool to listen to a fellow brother go through, a life, the story that they've had of adversity and tragedy and pain, and to not let that define them. You
That's
had
right.
it could have, and you chose, I'm not going to let this define me. This isn't who I am. This is just an event in my life. It's not me. I'm gonna make the most of this, and I'm gonna prove you wrong. Like the devil was looking at you, going, "Oh, I got this guy. He's so deep in addiction. He's in jail. He's looking at the cell. He's gonna end it all." Yes, yes. You said,
Let's
"Watch out."
go.
Now, when you open your eyes in the morning, the demons and the devil, he goes running. Oh, Alvin's awake.
That's
Everybody
right.
run. Yeah.
Damn, he's gonna be able helping people again. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much
All
for
right,
your
buddy.
time, taking the time to come in here. I know you're a busy guy. You got a lot going on. We'll be cheering you on and in your future endeavors. And you got a lifelong fan and friend, hopefully in me, man. Where can people find you, and what can we look forward to in the near future? How do we follow your story and keep up with what you got going on?
I have a website. It's Alvin Goozie Hines. I also have my Instagram, and all my contact info is right on there. I got Facebook. Just add me on there. My Instagram, all of it's public. My website for to give you an idea of, like, I do coaching, mindset coaching, public speaking. If you want me to come speak anywhere, all of it's on there. But like I said, my I put my number everywhere. I try to pick up all the calls, as many people as I can help. That's what I'm doing. That's how you get a hold of me if you guys need
Yeah,
anything.
I appreciate that. Awesome, Melvin. Well, thank you again for your time. We'll be in touch. All right.
My man, appreciate you.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Iron Purpose Podcast. Stay sharp.